Hey, this is David and
Marie Miller.
And we wanted to have a video blog for everybody to talk about what you might have been seeing in the news concerning the National Association of Realtors Settlement Agreement, which is the NAR Settlement Agreement, because there's a lot of talk out there. Quite honestly, there's a lot of misinformation.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure that you heard it from somebody who's been in the business for 18 years and can really give you the facts so you understand what's going on.
Yep.
So there's really two main things that are changing. What's the first thing, Anne-Marie?
Well, the first thing is, you may or may not know this, but on the MLS, it states all the things about the house, as well as at the very bottom, right now, it states what a buyer's agent or anybody representing a buyer will get compensated. Right now, that's what's happening, but that's something that's going to change. It's no longer going to be allowed on the MLS.
And the reason they're doing that is because they felt that some realtors might have been steering buyers and only showing properties that maybe had a higher commission versus a lower commission or no commission.
Right.
And they wanted to make sure that as a realtor, you could not go on the MLS and only pull properties that had a certain percentage that you're looking for.
Right.
So that's going to affect. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't put it anywhere else. And there's already other websites that are being put out there
Right.
where you're going to be able to find out what a seller is willing to provide a buyer's agent to be able to show the property.
Right, and that could change as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're in kind of a year of influx.
Absolutely. And all this, by the way, is supposed to be starting August 17th of 2024.
Yep.
So in just about a month and a half. Now, the second thing that is changing will affect the buyers more so. So basically, what it states is that prior to seeing a property, that you have to have a signed buyer agency agreement.
Correct.
With that agent. Now, within that agency agreement is going to state how you guys do business together, and it's going to state how they're going to be compensated.
And let me just interrupt you. You said that agent. Now, what did you mean by that? Did you mean the listing agent, or did you mean any agent that they choose?
Any agent that's going to be representing them in the sale is going to be that agent. It could be the listing agent.
Correct.
It could be the buyer's agent. It could be anybody.
Yep.
But in that scenario, you're going to have a signed agreement. So what do we typically see now before this happens?
Well, you can call, you're going and seeing one house, you want to see 123 ABC Street, so you just either hit Zillow, I want to see this house, and an agent randomly calls you and you say, I want to see this house at 4 o'clock today.
Yeah.
And so then a week later, you want to see 123 Banana Street.
Yeah.
And you hit that Zillow button or see a realtor at the grocery store or whatever, and you go and that realtor shows you that particular house.
Definitely.
That is going to change.
Exactly.
That is going to change.
And quite honestly, we feel it's a good thing.
Oh yeah.
We really do.
For sure.
Just think about it. Let's look at the listing side of the business. When you're selling your house, before you put it on the market with a realtor, what are you going to do? You're going to interview a realtor, probably somebody referred to you. And they're going to share with you their marketing plan and how they're going to help you sell your house.
Well, really, how they do business.
Well, yeah.
How they do business.
Yep.
You know, how they're going to list, how they're going to sell, how they're going to market. What value do they have that makes you, as a seller, want to use them as a listing agent?
Absolutely. And if you like what they have to say, you're going to sign a listing agreement.
Right.
And that listing agreement is going to spell out how you work together, and it's also going to show their compensation on how they're going to be compensated for providing those services.
Correct.
So really, the buyer side of the business is going to mimic the seller side of the business.
Mm-hmm.
And quite honestly, for us on our team, we've been doing this for 18 years. And for the last 17 years, that's exactly how we've been doing business.
We've been doing it that way anyways.
And we've held over 600 buyer consultations, and 95% of the time they're signing to do business with us because we provide so much value on how we help them find a house and work through the process until closing.
Correct.
However, most realtors don't do business that way. If they do it from a passive perspective, where they just set you up on a search and stuff, they're going to probably struggle initially here. But what's really important is before you sign anything with a realtor, you need to make sure that you have a consultation with them and you understand what their value proposition is. Because if all they're doing is showing you a property and they have the magic key to let you in, I'm not sure if that's enough value to warrant a compensation.
And I think that a big thing to remember as a consumer, that when you sign a buyer agency agreement with an agent, you're not just having them represent you on that particular house that you're showing. You're having them represent you for the transaction. So you really want to make sure that that person has the value that you need in order to have a stress-free closing and finding the house, getting under contract, from contract to close. You want to make sure that you can work with that buyer's agent throughout.
Those are the two main changes. So let's talk about some misinformation we're hearing out there. We're hearing that, hey, now as a buyer or as a seller, you can negotiate the commission. That is false. You always could negotiate.
Yep.
You know, there's discount brokers out there that do it for very minimal, and of course you always get what you pay for. And that's going to be true on the buyer side. You could always negotiate what you want it. From a seller perspective, you could say, I'm just going to provide $1 to the buyer's agent. I don't recommend doing that. You're probably not going to get a lot of showings, but you always have the capability to negotiate your commission on the buyer side as well
and the seller
as
side.
on the seller side.
So the other thing that's a misinformation is the fact that home prices are going to drop because of this. We really don't feel that that's the case.
No.
Yeah.
It's really, home pricing is based off of buyer supply and demand. Economics 101 is all it's about. When supply is low and demand is high, obviously pricing is going to be higher because the sellers have the leverage. And when it's just the opposite, when there's more sellers than buyers, then that's when you see the price is going to be lower. So when they do the appraisals, it's not based off, one of the questions they don't ask the seller is, hey, did you provide a commission to the buyer's agent or not? It doesn't matter. It's based on what's selling around you, and that's going to affect the value of your property.
Well, and I kind of look at it, I always go back to COVID, COVID days, when prices were flying through the roof. It wasn't because we were offering or not offering commissions to the agents. It was because of supply and demand.
Yeah.
Little supply creates tons of demand.
Well, there's tons of demand because of the low interest rates.
Exactly.
Money was free, so it was very easily. So we wanted to just educate you on the NAR settlement that's starting August 17th.
Yep.
If you have any questions, feel free to respond back to this email, or you can reach our contact information below. We've been doing this for over 18 years and have helped over 1,100 families so far. So we're very well versed in it, and we would love to help you out as well.